Since I am a new member of the Over 40 Club, I thought I would share with you a few tips that I wish somebody had set me down and taught me before entering my 40s. When it comes to prepping your skin for makeup, you do not need a 10-step complicated routine. And in fact, I think the more stuff you put on your skin, the worse the makeup ends up looking. There are really only two things that you need to focus on in terms of skin prep, and that is building light layers of hydration, save those heavy creams for the evening, and sun protection. If you have a choice between going too light and too dark, you always want to go a little bit too dark, and here's why. It is really hard for a product that is too light for your skin to offer any type of actual coverage. Look at my melasma right here. This concealer is far too light for my skin tone, and this concealer is far too dark for my. But watch as we blend them out and see which one actually hides the discoloration. You see, it offered a little bit of coverage, but it's still very clearly peeking through. Now watch on this side. You see the difference? Over here, melasma still peeking through. Over here, much more coverage. The palm of your hand is your perfect palette. The reason I like to apply my foundation in the palm of my hand versus the back of my hand is because the palm of your hand doesn't have as many pores, so it doesn't absorb as much product. Bronzer and contour are not the same thing, and they shouldn't be used interchangeably. Bronzers are going to be warm toned because they are mimicking that sun-kissed look, whereas contours are going to be more cool toned with a little bit of gray because they are mimicking the shadows on our face. Blush and bronzer are married, they are not separated, and they are most certainly not divorced. I mean, your blush needs to layer on top of the bronzers so that they melt into each other and create that really seamless look versus having two different pigments just side by side, because that looks really unnatural. They're married. They love each other. Concealer after blush and bronzer forever and ever until the end of time. Blush and bronzer are more heavily pigmented products. Use your concealer to add balance and help soften the edges of those harsher products. Never use a sponge to apply foundation or concealer. Sponges, by their very nature, are not meant to build coverage. They're meant to remove coverage because sponges absorb product. They don't build product. It doesn't mean that you can't ever use a sponge. You can, but the way to use it is after applying your cream and liquid makeup, slightly damp sponge, bounce it over the skin. This will help to absorb any excess product sitting on the skin, giving you a softer, more natural finish.